What is up, guys? It is Nick back with another video. We're going to try to make this one super quick, but I want to go over, is it actually worth spending $40,000, $50,000 on a car? And this is something that I battle daily, not because I wish I could afford it. I wish I could have the money to get a car like this. Like, ever since the M240 came out, this newer model, I have been like dying to get one of these, and I've never just been able to just pull the trigger and actually buy it. And back when it first came out, for the past couple of years, first couple of years it was out, I could have maybe bought it, but I didn't really have like, I was running my own business, so I didn't have like a ton of money where I could just go buy it, whatever. Now I have full-time job, income, things like that, where it's like, okay, I could actually buy this and still be comfortable and not have to worry about anything like that. And yet I still haven't bought it. So I'm gonna go in a little bit in depth on why I haven't bought it, when maybe I will buy a car like this one day, and some of the things that like I want to reach, that I personally want to reach financially, to be able to be like, okay, now it's a time to buy something like this, because buying a car is probably the biggest waste of money. And that comes a lot from a car guy. Just financially, the second you buy this, it's going down in value. And especially a car like a BMW, Mercedes, or even like you get into the supercars where it's like Lamborghini, things like that, Audis as well. Like any non-American car parts are more expensive, insurance is more expensive, gas is more expensive. So even if you think, oh yes, I can straight up just afford this, there are a bunch of other costs that have to go along with getting a car that is a luxury car, I guess. But for example, if I were to, let's say, put down $30,000 and I want to pay it, I did a 36-month loan just because having loans is like the worst thing ever. I'd pay almost $700 a month. I think the traditional kind of thing people do is like 60 months, so it'd be around $400, which I would honestly, I might do a video on this because I don't know the math behind this, but what if I did a 60 month and then ended up paying it off in 36? So it's like, worst comes to worst, I only have to pay 400, but I could speed run it and pay it off in 36 months, but I'm not obligated to pay 668 or whatever it is. I wonder if that's an actual thing. I don't know if with the interest the amount is different, but that's something I might have to look into in a future video. But let's say, for example, I do this 30,000 60 months for $428. If you go into like an investment calculator and see what actually you would be paying, let's see, 30,000. So let's say I put $30,000 down. Let's get rid of this. 60 months. So we're paying 428 monthly. Compound annually. 6 is very conservative, but we'll stick with it just because the website has this. Especially for something over 5 years, you might not get 10% growth back. Um, Even though the S&P 500 in the past 5 years has doubled, I say we could at least say 8. We could at least say 8. 10 might be pushing it, even though it's not, but I think 8% will give us a good example. So by the time you pay the car off, you are paying, not only are you paying, what is that? Okay, also we have to do this. 428, hold on, let's do 30,000 plus parentheses 428 times 60. So not only are you paying $55,680 for a $48,000 car that in 5 years might be worth $30,000. So that's already $25,000 out the window. You could have invested that money and made $75,000 and still had all of your money in the end. So instead of losing So basically you're trading off, I guess, 75 to $30,000. You're trading off $45,000 to have this car, which I guess over 5 years, if you're making good money, some people are like, oh, like it's fine. But considering people that usually do buy cars like this after the 5 years, they might sell it and these are like, for me, I could maybe do it just because after 5 years, maybe I keep this car until like it gets 100,000 miles or trade it. Like, but if you trade it in to buy another car, then it's like another more expensive, get another loan, and then you're always paying monthly for these cars. When you put this investment calculator over, let's say, 30 years, like for example, when you're going to retire, that, that's when it really compounds. Like you're not just putting in you're not spending $150,000 on cars. You're almost spending $1 million on three $50,000 cars over the period of your lifetime, basically. So it does get to a point where, okay, is it actually worth it? If this is a car that you know for a fact, okay, I'm gonna buy it, like I'm gonna keep this, run it into the ground, I could kind of see that. But for me, it's like I still don't have the trigger. No, how do I even say this? I don't have like it in me to still do this because I know the opportunity cost of investing of like $75,000 that I could have. So, what would make me financially be able to can like bribe myself, I guess, or be okay with myself buying a car like this? And first things first, it would have to be all in cash. That's number one. Second thing, I think the car has to be like 5 years old. This car came out in 2022. So by next year, essentially, it'll be 2027. Because like that's the first 5 years that a car comes out is when the depreciation hits the most. So this one here, this one's only $42,000. Um, but anyways, first all in cash, at least 5 years old, and then the other thing too is this is just like a really really mental thing, but I want to be able to have already like maxed out my Roth IRA every year and have an emergency fund fully saved, whether that's like, honestly for me that's like 25 to 30, I would say $30,000, because in a high yield interest savings account that's almost $100 a month for kind of the rates I'm getting right now, which is kind of satisfying. But the interest will keep kind of adding, and eventually it would probably be around that $100 mark. But those are the couple main things. Making sure I'm maxing out my Roth IRA every year. Fully funded emergency fund. I'm paying in cash. And then the other big thing, which is like the reason why I'm so far away from really being able to get a car is like this, is buying a house. And I don't, obviously I'm gonna have to wait till I actually get a house to know maybe if I were to want to do this or not. But do I want my house fully paid for before I buy a car like this? And there's a few things that is really tough about that, because when you buy a house, you do a 30, 15-year loan. Waiting 15 years just to buy a car is like, for me, I'm gonna be 40 years old before I get a car like this. Like, I want this car when I'm in my prime, like when I'm in my 20s, when I'm young, things like that. So that is a really hard thing to wrap my mind around. The other thing is like my income has been growing. I've been hustling. I've been trying to make more and more money. So maybe in a couple of years, I'm actually making a lot of money where I'm able to invest a ton of money, maybe buy a house super fast, maybe not be able to pay it off completely, but maybe at least a $400 a month payment on a car is very insignificant. I'm trying to use big words. I'm sorry. Insignificant to my income, something like that. But as of right now, I am kind of in a mode where I'm just trying to save and invest as much as I can to set myself up. So I don't think by buying a car like this is something that obviously will move me in the right direction. But I feel like that's kind of it for this video, guys. I want to try and make this quick. If you guys have any comments or questions or anything about like buying cars or a different point of view or anything else that you think I should maybe add to my list of milestones before actually purchasing this car, because I am young, I don't know what I'm doing, but to me this seems logical. But again, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys maybe take this into consideration if you are considering buying a car. Again, to impress people over Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or people just driving by, it's honestly like it's worth it, but is it really? And I heard this quote the other day where it's like people in their 20s think that everyone is thinking or have their attention on them. So like when you post on Instagram, you think everyone's looking at me like, "Oh yeah, they're like, they're thinking, "Oh, he's doing so good. Look at how good in life he's doing. Oh, I wonder what he's doing." And then in their 30s, people realize that no one's thinking about them. And then they're like, "Why do I even care? Why do I even care?" And then in their 40s, that's when you realize that no one's ever, oh, fuck, what was it? It was something like that where it's like 20s people think everyone's thinking about you, 30s you think no one's thinking about you, and in your 40s you realize no one even thought about you the whole time. So that kind of thing. So it's like for me, even though I really really want this car, I just can't personally get it. Even though I would love this car no matter even if everyone hated it, even if this thing was the ugliest piece of crap in the whole world. I would still get it. Just because I absolutely love this car. But the other thing too is there's a few other cars that I really, really want. I know I said I'm gonna end the video a few times, but I'm just rambling now. I need to test drive this car along with a few other cars that I do want because I do want. I'll show you. I'm gonna show you guys real quick actually the couple other cars that I would buy. Um, and that's another reason why I haven't bought this car or a car yet is because I just don't know what car I would want to get. And I also too I think about the more I save, the more I set myself up, eventually the more expensive car I could buy. So maybe if I do wait until I pay my house off, right, in 15 years when I buy one, if I do wait, maybe at that point I'll be able to buy $100,000 car or like a way nicer car. So that thought's also always in the back of my head. It's like, why would I buy a nice car now when I can maybe not spend that money and buy a way nicer car in the future? This is the other car I want. Oh, it's a convertible. I don't want a convertible. Is a E92 M3. I just absolutely love these things. I had an E92 335, and this is kind of like the big brother to that, but I'm absolutely in love with these cars, and this has the V8. I don't really like this interior. I want all black, but I absolutely love this car. This is another car that I would strongly consider buying. And then lastly, we're gonna go. You guys are gonna laugh for a second, but we're gonna buy a Nissan, chat. This Nissan, oh my gosh, this Nissan Sorento is absolutely beautiful. No, I'm kidding. I want a GTR, R35 GTR, something like, literally just something like this. The reason why is because I've always loved these cars, but every single person on social media that I know has one of these cars has had it for like their entire career basically. So, for example, Tanner Fox, he has one. He got it back when I think it was his first car. No, it was his second car because he had the FRS first. It was like a second car. He got it probably almost, I would say, 8 or 10 years ago, and he still has it to this day. Roman Atwood, I think he got his car around the same time, still has it to this day. Also, Phase Adapt, he got his around the same time and still has it to this day. And then also Noah Atwood, Roman Atwood's son, said he drove Roman's car, and he's like, if I were ever to get a sports car, I would get a GTR just like my dad's, and it's just the best thing ever. And granted, I don't think he's driven too many sports cars, but so many people that have these cars just like glaze on how good of this car. And I know it's such a good car. I've watched so many YouTube videos, so this is like a dream car for me. But anyways, going off tangent here, guys. That is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next video. Peace.